Hey guys, it's Shire. I'm going to be doing a Q&A soon, so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get to them in a future video. Alright, hope you enjoy the video. Can I record now? I need to record. Thank you, I can have my desk space back. Silly kitty. Today I'm showing you a deck profile. Oh shoot, fist bump. 3 Deep Sea Diva. This card is the best normal summon of the deck. It's also the prettiest card. Your opponent's going to hand trap this as soon as you normal summon it. Luckily, this deck has cards to stop that and other plays around if your opponent stops this. 3 copies of Deep Sea Prince. It is the other best normal summon in the deck. He's certainly one of the Mermail cards I've ever seen. We all like him because he's good, not for any other reason. Hella nice, I'm just gonna say that. Like, the artwork is some of the best I've ever seen on water Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, I only hope he also gets an Ultimate Rare reprint. Ultimate Rare Toes, that's it. Get that before Ash Blossom. Yeah, stop dictating my life. And of course, we're playing 3 Atlantean Dragoons. I mean, this card searches your entire deck, or at least a third of it. I also really like the Ultimate Rare foiling pattern on this card. I'm getting real close and sexy for you guys. Absolutely stupendous. And it's Portuguese. The entire deck's in like 7 languages minus French because I took out my Gen X Undines like 3 years ago. But we're working on there, right? Once I have 2 super rare divas, cursed. If I get a French one, I'll put those in the deck profile. 3 hella expensive cards. Bingo. Now this next bit is a little bit controversial, but I do think we should be playing 3 Atlantean Heavy Infantries. This card is probably the pinnacle of Mermail Sprite combos at this particular point in time. That's it. It's a level 2 monster. It gives you an extra normal summon. And also, since the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can go ahead and destroy your opponent's face-up cards. There's no reason why we shouldn't be running this at 3 if you're playing the Sprite package. With that being said, I do need to pick up some foreign ones. Next up, we have Deep Sea Minstrel. This card should have gotten a super rare reprint, but besides the point, I've explained what those cards do. Divas, Princes, Dragoon, not Dragon. Deep Sea Minstrel, what it does is you can discard one of those other cards. This gets an effect, this gets an effect, this gets an effect. And essentially you look at your opponent's hand and you take out any hand trap. It makes your first turn plays basically unstoppable. And also gives you hand knowledge of the opponent's entire hand. So do with that what you will, because they now can't. Most players aren't running hand traps as much as they used to, but they are running going second blowout cards such as Super Polymerization, as well as like Forbidden Droplets and what's that spell card? Dark Ruler No More. And just knowing your opponent has those cards mean you're able to search like Abyss Scale Mizuchi, which stops all of those cards. Wow. Why don't your other decks do that? They don't. That's why Mermails are the better deck. Who would have guessed? A brick from like 2012. Fuck, I'm old. She isn't. Anyways, 3 Deep Sea Minstrel. That card's really good. So for the last 3 Sea Serpents we're playing, we're actually running 3 goated ones. Lapis Dragon, this card just summons itself if you search it. It's also really pretty. It reminds me of the dragon from Spirited Away. I don't remember their names. So we play this card. It's really good. Megalo. This card's pretty nice. I've been thinking about running 2. Oh my god, look at that foil pattern. Sorry, my camera is actually kind of not bad, so I don't normally do this, and this definitely does it justice. This card just searches your Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi. You don't really use it to make Xyz monsters anymore or a synchro material. This card just searches the card that stops you, so it's a failsafe. That's all I'm going to say. This is the last Sea Serpent, Mullen Glacia, the Elemental Lord. You search this card at the end of, you search this card in between your combo. This card summons this boy, which sends that boy, which adds this cow. Basically, this card's not so great anymore if you're going up against tier limits, but we have cards to deal with that, right? You always summon this and your opponents freak the fuck out. Yeah, that's a good lineup, right? I mean, it's gorgeous. Now, the really funny thing is the next card we're playing is the Mermail package, because this deck uses Sea Serpents and then the non-Sea Serpents. So you cannot rely on these cards to be in your opening hand or for any of your consistent combos. This card cannot be searched by anything, even though it used to be one of your best combo starters. But because now it's a little bit more inconsistent, it's not so great anymore. I'd rather have something I can rely on, like the Atlanteans. So why isn't this deck called Atlanteans? It's just not. They were there for the birthright of the deck, so they get the namesake. Anyways, foiling pattern's kind of okay, nothing insane. This card discards a water monster to search for your level 4 or lower ones. We do run 2 of them, so this card's just there as a combo extender, really. It's not perfect or anything. Damn, it's so fucking hot in Florida. All right, now we got the little dudes. We've got Abyss Gund and we've got Abyss Pike. Abyss Pike is searched by this dude, and then this dude searches this girl, and then this girl summons back this dude. It's a bit of a whatchamacallit. It's a loop. These cards are pretty all right. I was kind of thinking about cutting this. Funny enough, I kind of popularized this card just a little bit, and now I'm saying you should maybe cut it. The card does a lot if you don't have other cards in your hand, and also dodges some hand traps. And it's full combo. It's full sprite combo now, if you have like Dragoons or something. But anyways, these cards are super pretty. So we play them, this one and that one. All right, next up, you guys are gonna hate me for this. We're playing Swap Frogs in this deck. This is Mermail Sprites. This card is essentially what makes this deck good again. It's because Totally Awesome is probably one of the greatest cards ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll put it right there on the left side. This card, what it does is you can discard a water monster. Oh, look at that. Fun fact, your deck's entirely made of water. So this card can basically be used with any other card in your deck. What this card does is when it's summoned, you can send a frog monster. Essentially, it's a level 2 or lower aqua monster. But really, what are you sending besides like a pink turtle? So this card dumps a frog, and then you put this back in your hand, or you summon it from the graveyard, you send another frog, and you summon another frog, and then you just summon them, make Totally Awesome. This card is like, if you see it, you're winning the game. Boop. Now this is a little bit of a different take. We're not running Dupe Frog. This card was there for the combo because I thought it was really cool to summon 3 different toads, but this card is basically a brick. I'm not running 3 toads in this deck, so this card is a bit, not so good. We're just gonna be running a Ronin Toadin. That's all we need. Anyways, last monster in the deck, Fishborg. Yeah, no hand traps, by the way. Hand traps are kind of doo-doo right now. At least that's in my personal opinion. Yeah, they kind of help, but at the same time, I like having cards that can stop multiple cards versus just one card. If it just stops one card, it doesn't actually stop an entire board. And then those cards all have graveyard effects, so just a Fishborg, no hand traps. Anyway, that's the last monster. 2 Deep Sea Aria. I don't think 3 is mandatory because I'm missing a couple of cards that would make this. Oh my god. Hold up. That is the prettiest fucking shit I've ever seen. Look at that, the sleeve, it just... Wow, it's perfect. You got the cherry blossoms, and then you got that foil pattern. It's gorgeous. Anyways, we're running 2 copies of Deep Sea Aria, right? What this card is this card searches this card, which then searches this card, which then searches this card, which then searches any of these cards in the top row, not the bottom row. But if you have any of these in your hand, you can use these to use the monster that you got off of this to go do something else. So I like playing 2 Deep Sea Arias. Oh, by the way, you see a little person right there? You see a little person right there? That's her. That's her. Love you. I'm gonna edit this later, and I'm gonna just cringe at all the jokes I'm making because I'm trying not to care too much, because when I care too much I can't edit a video because I think, oh no, it's not as good as my older videos. But guess what, love that card. Could be better, but it's fine. 1 for 1. This card summons this card, which you get the point now, right? You can discard any of your monsters in your entire deck to summon either your prince or the Fishborg. It's a really good card. It basically acts as a Deep Sea Diva if it gets hand trapped. So if this card gets Ash Blossomed, boom, you have full combo. Monster Reborn, it's a bit of a controversial take, but I do run 1 copy of this. I like this card. It can be really goofy at times. Pot of Avarice. This card lets you draw 2 cards, puts back your engine pieces. Enough said. Called by the Grave. I don't agree with Cross-Off Designator in a combo deck like this. I choose not to run any hand traps, so not a necessity. Next up, we're playing a copy of Cosmic Cyclone. Nobody likes losing to Mystic Mind. The chances of you drawing into this in a 40-something card deck is a little bit slim to none, but hopefully you can save it, set up your board, or do something, whatever you can. Kill them in that turn. Boop. And of course, we have the 1 copy of Abyss Guild Mizuchi. What this does is you can equip it to any of your Mermails. This card is searchable by that dude. And this card stops Super Poly. It stops cards that say you can't respond to with those card effects. It stops Dark Ruler no more. The more you know. Card's really good. It deserves a super rare reprint, so he searches that. Wait a minute. Where are your cards for going second? Where are the cards for defense? How are you going to break a board that has like infinity negates? What if it's a fucking barrier statue? Now, those are all very, very, very large, voluptuous concerns. So we're playing 3 copies of Super Poly. This card is pretty good, and it summons some cards that you can combo with, and you can always discard it for other cards, so I don't know. I like Super Poly. I might cut it. Last but not least, I am running 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. I kind of prefer Forbidden Droplets because you need water monsters in the grave to use this card. But if you're budget like me, funny joke, we all get it, you're rich. Fun fact, I'm not. Use my Patreon. I don't even have a Patreon. Play this card at 3. It's pretty alright. It's just 1 card, and it lets you go through cards that generally say you can't play the game. And this deck is really good at breaking boards. You don't need an extra deck to be able to obliterate your opponent. This, how many cards? I didn't count the 3, 6, 41 cards. Capiche? Good. All right, we're running 2 copies of Totally Awesome. This card is the best card in the game, and there's 4 toads. For the combo video I uploaded yesterday, I used 3 of this in that combo. It's not necessary, it's a bit over the top. So what I do instead is just use like 2 toads and a Crocodragon. Someone else mentioned that in the comments, thank you. It just does more than just 3 toads because Sprite Elf does revive this card, so you get technically 3 toads. So 2 toads. Next, we're running 1 copy of Bahamut Shark because 2 level 4 waters makes that boy. 1 Abyss Dweller because you can also make this card fairly easily and it stops a lot of those graveyard decks. Here is the first proxy. This is Gigantic Sprite. Any Link 2 level 2s you can be used to Exceed Summon into this dude. And basically what it does is, I can't remember. Ow. What this card does is it summons any level 2 monster from your deck. Yes. And then if you summon this as your 3rd, 4th, or 4th monster, your opponent can no longer use Nibiru to break your entire board because it prevents people, both players, from summoning anything other than Link 2's level 2s. We run a copy of this guy. Boom. I'm sorry I don't have the actual card. I know it's like a $4 card, right? And you need it to be playing. Ooh, pretty card sleeves, by the way. Sorry, this is a bit of a break. I'm using silver KC Louis Vuitton style sleeves with like a frosted cover. It's pretty. I like pretty. Second proxy. Dun da da. This is Sprite Elf. What this card is it prevents your opponent from targeting the cards on its link zones, and it summons a Link 2 ranked 2 level 2 from your graveyard during either player's turn. During your turn, you summon Swap Frog, make a toad. Then during your opponent's turn, you use a toad, and then you bring back the toad with this card. You basically add 2 water monsters from your graveyard to your hand. It gives you insane resource recovery, and then also providing another negate. This card's fucking busted. It's gonna get banned soon. No, Totally Awesome's gonna get banned. You know what? Totally Awesome is going to get the ultimate rare reprint before Deep Sea Diva. And I am pissed about that. If that happens, I'm quitting Yu-Gi-Oh for good. Like, no more Yu-Gi-Oh videos on this channel. 1 Bujinki Ahashima. This card is actually really insane right now. So this card can be used by using 2 monsters with the same level 1s, level 2s, level 4s, and it basically instant makes an Exceeds monster that'll win you the game. 1 copy of Coral Anemone. This card is made for water decks. It does lock you into waters, but this card provides some insane recovery, just provided you can summon it, because it'll revive Neptibus, Neptibus gets full combo, etc. 1 Mermail Abyssalacia. This card is really good, so I love her. If your opponent destroys this, then haha, you win. 1 Crystron Haka Fibrix. This card's so getting banned. 1 Napaloosa Bow the Goddess. This card is pretty funny. I mean, if you have access code, I kind of think maybe you should be playing that instead of this card. I like the card. I mean, what's to say? It's an Napaloosa, yeah? Yeah, that's her. Right there. Look at that girl. Anyways, I'm tired. Adamancipator Risen Dragite. This card is so pretty as well. This card's one of my favorite synchro monsters ever printed. It works so well. I love this card. It's really good. It's really easy to make using Fishborg and a level 7. So long as you have a water monster in your graveyard, this card will negate the activation of a spell or trap card and destroy it. And we're playing a copy of Ravenous Crocodragon Arcadus. This card is made using Neptibus, level 1, Fishborg plus Mermail, which then equals 2 draws, or just Diva plus 1 of those, and this card is pretty good. Meow. Hey, kitty cat. Oh, you're so adorable. Scratch, 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 scratch. All right, bye, buddy. So we also run 1 copy of My Dragon of the Swamp as one of our super poly targets. We have 1 other one. I'm gonna get into that after this. This card is level 4 water monster, so you can still combo with it if you open like Dragoons or something, which then gets you to full combo. So this card's pretty nice, and if you're able to summon it, it's free. For the last extra deck monster, this is a toss-up between Dragostapelia and this card. What this card does is it's kind of like Mud Dragon, but it deals double battle damage, and then it lets you draw a card. Whereas this card acts as another form of disruption. So that's it for the extra deck. Let's move on to the side deck. I still have this Metal Field Center. Really solid. I'm gonna go through this really quickly because it's loose. It's whatever I have on me, so I'm not using the best cards. 3 Cyframer Gamma. You can combo with this to make your sprite stuff, and it just stops anything that hurts you. 3 copies of Twin Twister. Yeah, honestly, if you have Lightning Storms, play those. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Destroys everything. 3 Goes and Match. It's for going first. Your entire deck's water, so why not? 3 Dimensional Barrier. This card stops Sword Soul and other problematic decks, so it's coming back. It's coming back. Final card, Red Reboot, because fuck you, Eldlick.